There's a lot of times that games have come out over the last few years that are strange and crazy while also grabbing onto what we once loved about video games. So today I'm here to talk about Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch. This game officially released, of course, on 420, and I'm finally able to sit down and get my hands onto the game and really dive into what is great about this game. This was developed by Interabang Entertainment and published by Atari and Digital Eclipse. So big shout outs to them for giving us the opportunity to checking this game out. What's great about this game is it is things of the past that we really loved, while also holding on to some of this really dark comedy that we have loved from the Jay and Silent Bob series. So brawl your way through the streets and maul in the, I always say this so horribly, but view askewniverse as Jay and Silent Bob where you unleash a dizzy array of combos, special moves, summon assists, and much more. You'll need to harness every ounce of your smoked fuel, creative, and to get past all the throngs and hockey sticks, the phone-wielding teenagers, the dokey demons, the hipster babies, the grumpy old grandpas, and much more. So, as I said, this game is really wild, dude. It's very, very wild. There's a lot of times that you're going to see big shout-outs and call-outs to the Jay and Silent Bob View Askewniverse universe, or View Askewniverse. Such a strange word. The big thing about this is that Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith themselves actually voiced and really had a lot to do with this game. So it says here the development with developed with the full blessing, enthusiasm, and voice acting of Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. Chronic Blunt Punch gives players the ultimate profound and profane Jay and Silent Bob experience, and that is the truth. Now, what's great about this game is all hand-drawn animation. It has a really big Streets of Rage kind of feel to it. There's a lot of times that they have call-outs to different video games, different game systems. You see a lot of crude humor in this game, and I think one thing that is certain with this game is that this is the perfect game to sit down with your friends and play in local couch co-op. So as you're playing through the game, there's all different types of cameos from the different people that have been in the Clerk series and Jay and Silent Bob, and the many different things in the View Askewniverse around. But one thing that I did notice is that it did have that old school fighting type game feel, kind of like games like Streets of Rage that we've played so much of, it's ridiculous. But as you go throughout the game, I noticed a few things that I can say that I wasn't the biggest fan of. I feel like there was a missed opportunity with this game of the upgrade system. As you go, you level up your character, and you do, as you're playing the game, you'll see that your character's strengths are getting, better. Their health is getting better, whatever. But I know this is somewhat of a privileged type of complaint, to say the least, because of the price point of this game as well. But I know they put a lot of love into this game, but I just feel like I wish I would have had a little bit more control on different combos and whatever else, or customizing my combos for the said characters. But with that said, there is a lot of really cool call-outs and cameos. The art style is tremendous, dude. There's so many times as you're walking through, if you've ever seen the movies, you've ever seen Clerks, you've ever seen anything that has to do with Jay and Silent Bob, there's so many funny call-outs, and there's so many crude little things that are laid out throughout this. Even some of the characters, like the fact that You have these like teenage thugs that, you know, walk around with hockey sticks and rollerblades just trying to beat the crap out of you. Or you have these, you know, grandpas, these disgusting grandpas that are walking around in their underwear. Or you have, you know, different occasions to where you run up on these huge boss battles that are just like the wildest and craziest boss battles you would ever think. Even whenever it comes down to the teenagers that are just, you know, addicted to their phones. You know, that's all they're looking at the whole time they're fighting you is their phones. And they'll do these supercharges to where they're charging their phone and electrocute you. But as Jay and Silent Bob, you can actually do your own special, moves. And, you know, like, it's really cool because it's such a call out to a lot of fandom. And, you know, like, Jay has a super move to where he's like, Berserker mode, motherfucker. And it's just crazy, bro. It is such a crazy game. Now, I will tell you something else. It is a challenging game. It is, me particularly, I found myself having somewhat of a challenge fighting against the normal characters that you were fighting against, normal enemies, as well as a boss whenever I played by myself. Because whenever you play by yourself, your secondary character doesn't attack. There's nothing really going on with your secondary character until you tag them in. So it's kind of like Donkey Kong Country in that sense, that they just kind of sit back there and chill until you do something. But of course, in localized or online co-op, you can have you know, your character, of course, being used by someone else, and it really helps the intensity of some of these battles, because sometimes, bro, you're like, oh my God, this dude is not dead yet. Like, I just did tons of damage on him, did a super move. There's a lot of times that you really can't damage some of these heavier people until you start using your until you start using some of your more heavy super moves, like the insane combo with the like a really big finisher, or using some of your side characters that you get. Like one point, like early on in the game, you'll get Dante, and Dante runs in there with a big body bag and slams it on the ground. Or you'll get some of the other characters, which I don't want to spoil it much, but you'll get one other character that, you know, calls in a donkey show, which I'm sure that if you know anything about Jay and Shock Blast, Jay Shock Blast, big shout out to Jay Shock Blast. Oh my God. If you know anything about Jay and Silent Bob, then you know that there's one character that talks about this, and there's like a grandpa that's in this gimp suit, and all these donkeys that are in gimp suits come running and just trample everybody. But it's even though it is a challenging game, it is a fun game. One of the biggest things about this game that is an easy buy for people that love these style of games is that it's only $19, bro. It's only $19.99. So if you're looking for something to play and just kind of take your time up and really have a great experience, then play this. Now, like I said, the one thing that kind of held me back was that sometimes the enemies are pretty challenging. I feel that the game could have used a little bit more creativity when it came down to like giving you the opportunity of customizing your abilities. But also, I did play the game. I did play the game pretty intensely, and there were some times that whenever you would run into some of these cameo characters, they didn't have the full quality of like art that your character would have. And I don't know if that was intentional or what, but also the way I look at it too, the game is $19, man. Like, we really can't, whenever a game is fun and a game is at such a low price point, you know, I'm not going to heavily focus on that and let that really destroy its score, but I am not going to be able to give it a perfect score because of some of those things. As I said, more customization on the combos and your moves and stuff like that would be great. Also, you know, the art style, I don't know if it's something that they need to do an update on, but sometimes you run into some of these other characters that you're communicating to Their art style kind of seems like more lower quality than what yours does. And this also could be because I was playing it on PlayStation 5 and there was early on bugs. But then, like I said, the enemies, they're tough, bro. So, like, if you're going to play this game, I would say definitely make sure to play it with someone else so you can have that backup. Because whenever you don't, then, you know, if you're Silent Bob or Jay, the other character is just going to kind of stand there like Diddy Kong did half the time, you know. But at the same time, it adds a unique challenge, I believe. So we're going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. That is still a really good score, but I think that those type of issues, if those weren't there with that price point, I could have easily given it a 4.5 or even a 5. But a 3.5 out of 5 is what we're going to give Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch. If you like something crude, if you like something different, maybe something that kind of feels like the games of old, I would definitely make sure to check this game out. It is available now. Big shout outs to Atari and, of course, big shout outs to the development studio Interabang Entertainment and Digital Eclipse for giving us this opportunity to check this game out. I love you guys so much. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out.